Have you ever just stopped and looked at the stuff all around you? I mean, really looked. At your phone, the chair you're sitting in, even the coffee in your mug, and just wondered, how did this get here? How was this actually made? It sounds like such a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it opens up this incredible world of strategy and design that literally shapes everything we use. So let's dive in and break it all down. Okay, let's start with a kind of a weird question. How is a tailor-made suit different from a can of soup? I know, it's a strange comparison. One is the absolute peak of personalization, crafted just for you. The other is, well, it's a can of soup. It's the definition of a mass market product. But the real difference between them tells you everything you need to know about how our modern world is built. The whole secret is in how they're produced. You see, making things isn't just one single process. It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's actually a whole spectrum of different methods, and each one is designed for a very specific purpose, from creating a single one-of-a-kind item to churning out millions of them that are all exactly the same. So, let's start at one end of that spectrum. This is called job production. The best way to think about this is like an artisan at work. It's all about pure, focused craftsmanship. You're creating one single unique item at a time, and it's built exactly to what the customer wants. And yep, this brings us right back to our tailor-made suit. Every single stitch, every measurement, it's all completely unique to the person who's going to wear it. No two are ever going to be exactly alike. That is the absolute heart of job production. Maximum skill, maximum customization for a volume of just one.
But okay, what if you need to make more than one? Making things one by one is slow and expensive. That's when we take a step along the spectrum to what's called batch production. Here, the focus isn't on a single unique piece anymore. It's about creating a limited number of identical items all at once, in a single group or a batch. A local bakery is the perfect example here. Think about it. They're not making one single croissant at a time, right? No way. They bake a whole tray, that's their batch, for the morning rush. And once those are sold out, maybe they switch over to making a batch of sourdough loaves. It's way more efficient than one by one, but you still have the flexibility to change things up. All right, now let's scale things up, like way up. Welcome to mass production. This is the engine that built our modern consumer world. It's exactly what you picture when you think of a factory. Huge, sprawling assembly lines where enormous quantities of identical products just flow by nonstop. And here we have our can of soup. Millions upon millions of identical cans are filled, sealed, and labeled every single day. The goal here isn't uniqueness, it's the exact opposite. It's all about perfect, predictable consistency, incredible speed, and getting that cost for each individual item down as low as it can possibly go. But what if even that isn't enough? What happens when the process can never stop? Well, that takes us to the absolute furthest end of the spectrum, continuous production. We're talking about a 24/7 flow that, once it's up and running, is designed to go on and on without any interruption at all. It is the highest volume method there is. I mean, you can't really make a batch of electricity, can you? Power plants have to run constantly, day and night, just to meet demand. It's the same thing for refining oil or producing basic chemicals. When you're dealing with these fundamental commodities, the production process has to be a constant, nonstop stream. So this is where it all clicks into place. Just look at the trade-offs. As you move from left to right here, from job to continuous production, customization just completely vanishes. But at the same time, the volume you can produce goes through the absolute roof. And that has a huge effect on the cost per unit. This chart is exactly why that bespoke suit is a luxury item and the can of soup costs next to nothing. Now, speaking of mass production, some companies haven't just used it, they've elevated it to an art form. To really see how, we've got to look at an absolute masterclass in efficiency from one of the biggest car makers in the world. Yep, we are talking about the legendary Toyota Production System, or TPS. This isn't just a process, it's a whole philosophy. And it so completely revolutionized manufacturing that it became the global gold standard for efficiency, creating what we now call lean manufacturing. The core idea behind it is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You relentlessly identify and eliminate anything and everything that doesn't add value to the final product. Wasted material, wasted time, even wasted movement by a worker. The goal is to hunt it down and get rid of it. This whole philosophy is really built on three key pillars. First, like we said, minimize all waste.
Second, you build quality control into every single step. You don't just inspect the car at the end of the line, you make sure quality is happening all the way through. And third, and this might be the most important one, you never ever stop improving. This is the famous concept of Kaizen, a deep commitment to making constant, small refinements that add up to massive gains over time.
So we've got our classic production methods down pat. But you know what's coming next, right? Technology is now completely rewriting the rules for all of them. Production isn't just getting faster anymore, it's getting a whole lot smarter.
This is what everyone's calling Industry 4.0. Now, don't think of this as a totally new method. Think of it more like a powerful upgrade package for all the ones we've already talked about. We're talking about automation and robotics, smart systems that can adjust on the fly, and advanced quality control where AI can spot tiny defects a human eye would totally miss. It's about embedding intelligence across that entire spectrum of production.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. Everything from a single hand-stitched suit to a global power grid. So after all that, what's the big idea? What's the main takeaway?
Here it is. There is no single best way to make something. It just doesn't exist. Choosing the right method is always a strategic balancing act. You're trading off customization against volume and volume against cost. It's all about picking the right tool for the job, whether you're crafting that one perfect suit or you're supplying electricity to millions of people. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these new technologies like AI and 3D printing make mass customization more and more of a reality, are we heading for a future where the lines between all these methods just blur? A future where mass production can deliver the same kind of personalization as job production? Could we be entering a world where, in a way, everything becomes a tailor-made suit again? Now that is something to think about.